What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Sergio, aka the floor price guy. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown. This time in the form of UFC Fight Night Bautista taking on Vinicius Oliveira. This is the first time they're going to the newly revamped Apex. I think it's called the Meta Apex now, right? Something like that. But before we get into that, let's talk about last week. UFC 325, Volkanovski defeats Diego Lopez for a second time to reclaim and defend his UFC featherweight title. In addition, he ties Jose Aldo, right, with 8 title fights, I believe it is. What did you think of his performance? What did you think of that fight? And what did you think of the card?
Uh, One of the things going into this fight we talked about, champ, was that Volk either tends to get better on the rematches, except for the Islam Makachev fight, right? Like you can't really. That's a low. That's a what do you call it? It was a short notice fight within 1 week. My man was drinking beer, was cooking. I thought he was gonna come in like we said on. I gave it a 50-50, but then I you got to lean towards Volkanovski because now he knows the threat, and he was good. Like his striking was good. His defense managed to take him down. It's just unfortunate that Lopez, like his two, what do you call it, 2 feet. Even my wife told me, "Hey, babe, is it true what happened? It was true what happened this weekend." I'm like, "What happened?" I heard there was a fighter that broke two of his feet, and I'm like, "Did that happen?"
Yeah, I
Like,
think it happened sometime in the fourth or fifth round, right? And when he broke him, because you could see him, he was visibly hurt.
but it was a defense from Volkanovski. So shout out to the
Yeah,
champ.
it's weird. It's one of those things where, like, usually it's the other way around, right? Where someone he breaks a forearm or hurts a forearm, but he broke his feet.
And he caught him on the edge. I think Volkanovski checked the kick properly,
Mm.
and that was it, baby. Like
Yeah,
that.
I think it was a solid performance from Volkanovski. He utilized his footwork well, right? I think his footwork is his point striking is fight IQ, right? He doesn't put himself
GSP.
in dangerous positions, and he's the one that initiates the action, and that's what made the fight his fight, right? He fought at his pace, and Lopez, you could tell his game plan was to attack the feet a bit more, to attack the legs. That's why he broke his legs because he kept throwing that calf kick, kept trying to limit Volkanovski's movement, but it's just unfortunate, man. He didn't go in for the kill. He wasn't as aggressive as we thought he was going to come in, right? This time around. Had some decent scrambles on the ground, but congrats to Volkanovski. Now we get announced a title eliminator between Lerone Murphy and Masvar Evlov to see
Oh,
who
really?
faces off. Did you?
I didn't
I
know that. When
believe
did it
it got
happen?
announced for a UFC London, if I'm not mistaken. But I
Mm.
did see the image. I think MMA Junkie posted it. I did see it on X, but I don't know for which fight card. I would imagine it's London, but those two go at it, man. It's gonna be a hell of a fight, right? Two undefeated fighters. Winner takes the champ. So we'll see what happens. But quick things I want to talk about this card, man. Torres Finney, we were wrong. I think we both went 9 of 13 on this. No, 9 of 12 on. No, 9 of 13 on this card. We got 4 fights incorrect. We got two of the regional bouts, right? The road to UFC. It's not. I call it a regional because they're not UFC fighters, but we got two of those fights incorrect, and then we got Torres Finney incorrect, and then I got the main event wrong, whereas you got Fiziev versus Hoofy wrong. But it is what it is, right? Like if you subtract those two, we really went uh, 8 of 10, I guess, or 10 of 12, however you want to look at it. But not bad night in terms of picks, and not a bad night in terms of bets as well. We hit some live bets. I think you got the read early on Nakamura, right? I think you put money on Nakamura on the regional UFC fight to win that fight. Is that correct?
So Nakamura was facing Sergey Splaz, right? Splaza.
Yeah, Slazy.
Can we for some reason I can't upload my the image of yeah, there it is. So I'll just I think it was a good night overall. Like money. There's a couple of, oh no, this is the old one. This is not the one that cashed out. I mean, look, we had Volk, McAuliffe. McAuliffe did well. He scared me a little bit at the first, Billy. But I want to talk about this fight, right? Because you know, um, Sale, how do you pronounce that name? Sally came in hot. Man, what an animal. I catched out in the third round because Nakamura was just going for it. And I was like, nah, that's the cool thing about poly market is you can kind of cash out. The other issue is like Yeah, I mean, if it's a tie, you could fuck up. But going back into this fight, dude, what a return! Like, I hopefully they sign Spazza because Namakura did great, bro. He just had the urgency.
Yeah, we gave you some plus money plays as always. That's one of our aims. We try to give you money line parlays and props. The underdog play, I don't want to even say it was an underdog. The plus money play of the week was Khan Ofli. Bit of an iffy decision, right? It depends
Yeah,
how you look at that fight, but we're probably now going into the era, and we have been, where takedowns with nothing, right? With nothing to come with it, don't aren't valued as much as they were in the past, right? And I think in that third round, where Yiza got the takedown, it wasn't necessarily that effective because he didn't do nothing with it, right? Offley got up pretty quickly, but Offley won by points. We got that for plus 300, and we got Offley money line at plus 165. We also gave you a parlay at BSD inside the distance plus Elakana and Tafa not to go the distance. I mean, that was pretty obvious one, right? Malarkey, South killed. I mean, Malarkey was there to be a sacrificial lamb, unfortunately. And then you have
but free
Michaela.
money at minus 165.
Yeah.
So GG to
Michaela
you.
needs to work on his striking defense because he was getting tagged. He probably underestimated Oban Elliott on the striking realm, right? And he was getting hit a little bit. And a lot of people were kind of, I think the odds switched, right? In that first round,
Yes,
it
this
switched. And then he came back
immensely.
out and he got that. All it took was one takedown and he got the submission. So Volk
And then
at
he
minus
looked slow too.
135.
He also looked slower, but then in the second round he came back and
Yeah,
put
he
it
got
on
the
him.
takedown and all he needed was one takedown. He got the gilly and that's it. Torres Finney, I want to talk about that fight because when you have a fighter who's a grappler who doesn't grapple, what does that say, right? And an interesting thing that happened on the broadcast was, I think it was after the first round, John Anik said, "Oh, his knee is hurt." He's telling his corner he's hurt, right? His leg is hurt, and they weren't kind of listening to him. They're like, "Oh, you need to go out there, you need to take him down, do this, right? Don't let him get into his rhythm." And then DC says, his knee has been hurting all camp. He's been going through some knee issues throughout this camp, but he's fine. He'll be okay. Man, if I'm a live better, I would have put the house
On the other guy.
Malkoon, right? Malkoon, it's interesting. He didn't go for the kill, right? He had him hurt a bunch of times, and he didn't go for the kill, but he got the win. It is what it is. We'll move on. Tai Tuivasa, Talas and Teixeira. I'm gonna take your line here. I'm gonna copy you, and I'm gonna say we need to get the boys some treadmills, man. Those
He
boys,
just
those boys in the third round were looking. They kind of looked at each other, just came to an agreement, like, "Listen, brother, just put me up against the cage. We'll just ride it out, and we'll be good." But they were throwing bombs. I think if Tai Tuivasa had a bit more cardio, a bit more endurance, he could have got
he could
Taliesin
have
out of there.
finished it.
Taliesin had his hands real low for being that tall. He's probably used to. Well, one, he doesn't go the distance often, right? And
No.
then two, he's so tall, he's probably not used to anybody being able to hit him in the face. So he has his hands low, he walks forward, he's flat footed. He needs to get his cardio up because as he goes down the rankings, he's gonna get beat, man. He's gonna get taken down, he's gonna get tired out. You get me? He's gonna get knocked out with it. And he has bad striking defense. We saw it in the contender series,
Yeah.
right? When he was getting bombed up against the fence. We saw Derek Lewis knock him out. So he needs to work on those things. Still a bit raw, but it is what it is. Mauricio Hufi bounce back. A lot of people, I think, including yourself, said Fiziev's never been knocked out. What are we doing here? And nobody, I didn't put the Hoofy inside the distance, and I didn't even bet on that fight because I respected Fiziev that much.
Yeah.
But Hoofy, what a bounce back win, right? What a bounce back win.
It
What did
was
you think of that
interesting.
fight?
No, it was like it was who Fizev took the first round. So if you're live betting, Rufi's an underdog now. But brother, like the speed and the accuracy and the range, he started touching him up and really extending his hand. So I'm surprised in the way even he kind of defended takedown. You could tell he's been spending a good amount of time, like grappling. So I'm interested. I think now we give him a kind of like a grappler, but again, you got to give him a grappler in the top 15 now because he's not going to
They're
take
gonna
a
probably
fight.
give him Hinato. Probably gonna give him Hinato Morcano or
Is
something,
Renato
right?
in the top 15?
And I think he's top 15 still, isn't he? Wasn't he
Who's
like 9 or 10?
Renato was fighting is fighting Ortega and now he's
Because
fighting
he
somebody
beat
else.
BSD, and then after that he beat. Did he fight after that? Oh, he lost to Islam, so he's still in the top 10, I think, top 15.
Yeah, but he fights soon. I think that's the issue. He's gonna fight very soon.
Yeah, but anyways, that's the fight card.
Yeah.
Nothing else for me. in regards to the fight card. We do have an interesting fight night coming up. We didn't have many. We didn't have any female fights on this last card, but we have three on this one, and a banger main event and a banger co-main event. Let's get into it, man. We have Priscilla Cachoeira taking on Claudia Saigula. Let me find my notes here real quick. All
Damn.
right, we have Priscilla Cachoeira, who last time out got knocked out by Jocelyn Edwards, right? In
Yeah.
that second round. Was it the second round or the first? I think it was the second round.
Second.
Second round, she got KO'd to ground and pound. And then we got Claudia Saigula, who, got her first UFC win to Irina Alexieva.
Yeah.
Now, what we know about Priscilla Cachoeira is that she is very aggressive, right? She comes forward, she drops bombs, she drops overhands, and she's dangerous in that first round. And then as the fight progresses, she kind of withers away, she slows down, and she's going up against Claudia Sagula, who obviously isn't the better. She's the less powerful of the two. She's kind of utilizes her distance, utilizes her range, and then when she feels comfortable, she looks to level change and get the fight to the ground. I think early on it's going to be dangerous. I mean, this is a pick 'em, right? I think early on Cachoeira's dangerous, right? But if Saigula's able to weather the storm, somehow find this fight to the ground, she's going to have some success. She's going to be able to work, maybe find a finish. But I'm going to go with Saigula here. But honestly, I believe this fight can go either way.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's really a coin flip, and you have to base it off. Priscilla Cachoeira. The one thing that's a little bit more different is she is training with Amanda Nunes, so maybe that could influence her style a little bit more. You're training with
Mhm.
with the goat, right? What is that going to do to your skills? It's going to improve it, right?
Yeah. But
Um,
and then real quick, I understand she is going to improve the skills, but another thing is like, let's see, I didn't even talk about their heights, right? Like Saigula has good footwork and she utilizes the octagon well. Now I don't know if this with this new meta apex, if the octagon size is going to change. I didn't see anything about that, but I'm assuming it's still the same small octagon, right? So she's gonna have the ability to move around, and for Priscilla to be successful, she's gonna have to close that distance, right? Because she is a bit shorter. I have to see how her reach. She suffers a 4-inch reach, right? So 2 inches. So she's gonna have to close that distance to land that heavy punch. But I think Saigula is gonna be moving around, utilizing that footwork. I wanted to say that. I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. I mean, look, this is a pick 'em fight. Um, I'm just gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say Priscilla Cachoeira gets it done.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm not betting on this fight. Like if I am, I'm doing a little DGen play, but there's no really DGen play at a plus 115. I just think that I liked how I think she fought Jocelyn Edwards, which is a top 15 fighter. Jocelyn Edwards could easily be a top 5 fighter, right? Um, her KO against Josie Nunes showed that she's been evolving though since he took 2 years off. Prior to that, she's been good. So I think she gets it done. Not 2 years, like a year and a half, really. I think she gets it done, champ. So we're gonna go with Priscilla.
Yeah, and then she's fought at flyweight before, right? So
This other girl?
bantamweight, uh, Cachoeira, Cachoeira.
No, she flyweight.
Yeah, she's moving up from flyweight.
Oh, I said sorry. My apologies. I thought you said featherweight. My so sorry.
No, no, yeah, she came from flyweight to bantamweight. But
Yeah,
anyway,
no. She's the. I will always remember her as the girl, as the woman that Valentina Shevchenko put the beating on. That's what I know her for.
right on. So we're both on opposing ends here. I'm gonna go with Saigula to weather the early storm. She's gonna taste the power, and then she's gonna go for the takedowns. And then you're saying that Cachoeira is gonna be able to, strike her up on the feet, maybe get a finish, and then
Yeah, she might
get her
catch
out
it.
of there. So pick 'em fight. We're on opposing ends. We'll move on to our next fight. We have Muin Gafurov taking on Jacob Wicklax. Wicklax is loved by everybody because he's the man who famously beat Patchy Mix. He gave him his last UFC fight in the promotion, right? Patchy Mix has been cut. That's crazy, huh? Patchy Mix came. Remember how much we were glazing Patchy Mix? Oh, this
Yeah,
guy's. oh, he's gonna take people down. My man was stuck in the mud against Mario Bautista, who we'll talk about later. And against Wicklax, he should have won that fight, right? He was the one engaging the takedowns. He was the one pushing the pace. Wicklax got taken down, I believe. I didn't write it down. 5 of 7 times. He got taken down 5 of 7 times. His takedown defense isn't the best, right? He was to be taken down. He did have good scrambles. They did have good exchanges on the ground, and his offensive grappling isn't the best because he's a pressure grappler. He moves forward. He utilizes his untechnical striking to level change and secure takedowns, but he wasn't that successful up against somebody like Patchy Mix, right? Once on the ground, he was sound. He was busy. He was chasing submissions. He was working. It was his UFC debut. It was on short notice, I believe, right? He's out of that camp with Joanna Jędrzejczyk and the Polish power. What's his name? Jan Blachowicz, right? Gafurov, last time out, beat Rinya Nakamura via unanimous decision, where he was the underdog, right? Nakamura forgot he was a grappler. I believe he went 0 of 1 in grappling. I think we were very upset in that fight because we picked Nakamura to utilize his grappling. He didn't utilize his grappling. But Gafurov does have solid takedown defense. He's fast. He has technical striking. He has good strike. The better striker of the two, in my opinion. He has been in weird spots once on his back. His offensive wrestling is okay, and his hand speed is better. So I think this fight's going to hinge on the fact whether Gafurov could defend the takedown attempts from Wicklax, right? And then have the better moments on the feet because he is the better striker of the two. And I think his takedown defense is going to hold up here. I mean, people are going to look at his record and be like, okay, well, he lost to John Castaneda via unanimous decision. John Castaneda, striker, right? In grapple. Said Nurmagomedov got the guillotine choke, but Said is one of those guys who probably has the best guillotine in the UFC, right? Like he's pretty dangerous in that regard. And then he beat Kyung Ho Kang, and then he beat Rinya Nakamura, whereas Jacob Wicklax is facing his second fight in the promotion, right? He got the jitters out of the way. He did kind of fade in that fight too. Do you remember? In that third round, he kind of slowed down a little bit. And he fought Apache Mix, who maybe he's a fraud, right? I don't know. I don't like saying that word too much, but he did fight Apache Mix that didn't live up to the expectations. So I'm gonna go with Gaffer. I think has way more experience. He's better on the feet. His takedown defense is good enough, and he's gonna be able to just as the fight progresses, kind of move forward, right? Move forward and kind of whereas Wicklax slows down, he's gonna be able to move forward and apply pressure. What do you think?
I think Wicklax gets it done. Actually, I think if you, I mean, sometimes MMA math doesn't really math. I'd say it that way, but I just like how he came in against a former Bellator champion, and bro, he put it on him. Like it was good. Like that was a mismatch. And if I remember correctly, the odds were this guy was a plus by a lot, and I think he did good, man. I like Gafurov, but I really, I'm hedging on Jacob getting it done. I think he's gonna surprise us.
And I think a lot of people agree with you because the odds are pretty even. They're both at minus 115, I think, currently. Right? The pendulum has been moving, but I think based on what I saw, him slowing down, him being taken down, right? It's good. It's tough, right? The issue would be it'd be funny if Gafurov initiates a takedown and then gets reversed and then it's on his back and then gets submitted, right? That'd be funny. But I don't know.
Be what you wish for, right?
We're on opposing ends here. You're going with the dog. You're going with two dogs, right? Back to back, two dogs.
Yeah, but they're not really dogs, right? They're not really.
I mean, they're dogs.
So actually, Gyrov is the dog.
Oh, okay. I have them as even right here.
Oh, really? Yeah, they're both near even. You can see here, but this guy has a minus 120, unless the odds like online change. So
yeah, let's the odds online change. So we're both on opposing ends for the first fight. We'll move on here to our next bout. We have Kong Wang, the Joker, taking on Eduarda Mora. Wang last time out beat Ariana Lipski, the Silva via unanimous decision. Excuse me. Mora last time out beat Lauren Murphy via unanimous decision, where she utilized her youth. Prior to that, she beat Veronica Hardy via unanimous decision. She lost to Denise Gomez via split decision, beat Montserrat Conejo Reese via KO, and then beat Janaya Silva. Whereas Kong Wang has beat Bruna Brazil, a pretty decisive fight. Good bounce back win. Lost to Gabriela Fernandez via submission. Victoria Leonardo via KO in her UFC debut. Kong Wang, man, she's good. A lot of people are gonna look at her record sheet that she got submitted and say that, oh, her takedown defense is weak. But you remember in that fight, she kind of had a stumble, right? She got dropped and then she got taken down, and then she followed her to the ground and got the submission there. But she's going up against Mora, who's a grappler. She has nice takedowns and entry points. When she's on the ground, she gets busy. She looks for submission. As I mentioned, she looked good against Hardy. She beat Murphy. Her striking isn't the best. She utilizes them to set up her takedowns. It's the least technical of the two. And I think it'd be a mistake for her to try to, exchange. We're probably going to see her look for the takedowns, look to take Wang down to the ground. But, you look at Wang, man, she has that. She's 5'6", but she fights long, right? She has that kickboxing background. She has good takedown defense, good foot movement, good leg kicks, good combinations. And then, you look at that Lipsky, the Silva fighter, she was utilizing those leg kicks really well, right? And then to set up her combination. So I think Kong Wang is going to be the victor here. I like her takedown defense. I like her striking. I think it's going to show here. She's going to continue the win streak here.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I think against I didn't really count that Lauren Murphy fight. Lauren Murphy is a top 15 fighter from the days that the Cookie Monster
Yeah.
Carlos Barza was champion, right? And Rose, and I they gave her a Fiend, and dude, the Fiend came delivered. Young girl, used to fight at strawweight and couldn't make the weight. You feel me? Like was coming in heavy, and yeah, no, I mean, she also controlled what do you call it, Veronica Hardy in the ground, if I'm not mistaken. She kind of just what was just a bigger girl. You got Kong Fang, which I think many will say that she was exposed by Gabriela Fernandez, but the reality, like, this was a wake up call, right? You got to work on your striking. Sorry, you got to work on your defense. You can't be playing around, and I think the odds are good. Like a minus 225 is good for. I don't know if you like money
Yeah,
line, but it's not bad.
I agree. I think she'll do well here. I think this is a good fight for her.
Oh, Wang should be able to take this based on her footwork. Like if she's able, because this other girl doesn't have the greatest footwork in the world, and she just presses, right. When you have that footwork on your advantage, and at this smaller weight class, you just dance her up, kick. She's going to be throwing a lot of calf kicks, a lot of high kicks. Like yeah, this could possibly finish. She could get a finish in here, I believe.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're both going with Kong Wang to get it done. The first fight we agree on. We'll move on next to some bantamweights who are both currently on a 2-fight losing skid. They're both looking to bounce back. I think this is actually a really good fight. We got one half of the Basharat brothers. We got Javid Basharat taking on Saeed Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov last time out welcomed Bryce Mitchell to the bantamweight division, right? Bryce Mitchell dropping down from featherweight, beat Nurmagomedov via unanimous decision. Javid Basharat last time out got KO'd by the hometown boy, Ricky Simone, by a straight right in the first round. You remember that? I think it was the first round. Was it the first round? It was the first round. Saeed, when you look at him, a lot of people see the last name, Nurmagomedov, they're going to be, oh, he's a grappler, he's Dagestani. He's good on the ground, but he's primarily a striker. He has really good speed, length, nice kicks, manages distance well, can duke it out in the pocket. He has solid submission game. However, he has struggled in the past against prolific grapplers such as Bryce Mitchell, right? And he also tends to gas, right? Like if you look at all his fights against, I think it's like, was it Vinicius, I think, or even in his last fight against, Vinicius Oliveira, he gassed in that fight. Against Bryce Mitchell, he gassed in that fight. Muin Grafrov, he beat him. Jonathan Martinez, he did gas in that fight. So he does have a gas tank issue. When you look at Basharat, he's well-rounded. He has good offensive and defensive wrestling. And on the feet, he utilizes a kickboxing base, his Muay Thai, I think his Taekwondo background as well. He can fight well at distance and utilize good movement, footwork. He probably has the better cardio of the two, I would say. And he is the better grappler. And I will look for him to mix some takedowns here and be more defensively sound, right? I think we're going to see how he bounces back from being KO'd by Ricky Simone, but I think here he's going to be a little bit more cautious. He's going up against a striker than Saeed, who can strike and can be in the pocket, but we're going to see him utilizing that in and out movement, utilizing his footwork, attacking the lead leg, getting his takedowns when he needs to, and then pulling away in the third round where Saeed gets tired. I think he's gonna be the better fighter here. Maybe get it done on the scorecards, but I think he's just better all around than Saeed. And Saeed's a good fighter too. He's a this is a
Yeah,
good fight. I'm excited for this fight, but and it's crazy because Topology has Saeed winning by
yeah.
decision, 77%.
But it's Nurmagomedov riders. I don't want to say Dick Riders. I want to respect.
Yeah,
Um,
but even like he's he lost to Ayman Sahabi, but that was a good fight. Like he was looking good on the feet, right? And Ayman Sahabi, he's been escaping death, brother. Like he's been clawing these decision wins. He should have lost a while ago. That Jose Aldo fight, he did not win that fight, right?
it's
He did
no,
not win that fight.
but I'm gonna go with Basra just based on kind of like I like the speed. I don't like Said Nurmagomedov like and he's also trained by the boys, right? Or no?
What do you mean by the boys?
No, like Nurmagomedov, or is it the other cat? You know, how there's another Russian cat. I'm getting my
Bro,
Dagestanis
you're speaking very vague. You said there's a guy. You say he's getting trained by the boys. I don't know who you're referencing. You said
by
there's another cat.
so there. Okay, so part of the camp, so part of Habib's camp, sometime trained.
Mhm.
I'm pretty positive this guy doesn't, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No.
No, it's the other cat, which I forgot his name. That's what I was saying. I was being vague on purpose. But I'm gonna with Jay Bashara. Like I said, I didn't like the performance of Nurmagomedov. However, you do have to applaud Vinicius because he came to game. Like he came to get in his face and he took him down, but Vinicius was super on point. And then you have the Bryce Mitchell fight, which I had plus money in Mitchell. People thought he was going to be over, and
He
the
was gonna
thing
be
is, bro,
bigger. I think yeah, he was gonna be
bigger, but Mitchell has better cardio too.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Bashra. I think he's gonna learn off these two losses, and he's gonna be able to kind of like you said, just kick him, move outside, tire him up a little bit. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens if these guys can get into a grappling exchange to see what Nurmagomedov could do. Like you said, he's not known for his grappling, but he tried to do that against.
He has good submission games. I mean, he doesn't really offensively grapple as much, but he can scramble on the ground and chase subs, right? Fight off
Yeah.
his back pretty well.
So I'm gonna go with Bashra.
All right, we're both going with Bostrot. Next up, we have our second women's fight. We have Bruna Brasil taking on Ketlin Swoza. I like Swoza, man. I think she's a dog.
Okay.
We have Bruna Brazil, who's coming in at the favorite at minus 140. Last time out, she beat Ming Shi in a road to UFC finale. Was it a road to UFC finale
Yeah,
fight?
that's what it
It was a
was.
road. That's kind of weird, right? That they gave her Bruna Brazil. But anyways, she beat
Yeah.
Ming Shi, the doctor that everyone loved with the head kicks, via unanimous decision. Sosa last time out lost to Piera Rodriguez in a fight where she was taken down, but she did have some solid moments in that fight. Prior to that, she lost to Angela Hill via split decision, where you could have scored it for her, depending on what you deem more scoreable, right? She submitted Yasmin Juaregi, and then she beat Merrick Mann. So you look at Bruna Brazil, she lost to Kong Wang, she beat Molly McCann, she lost to Loma Lukbume, she beat Shauna Bannon. So she's beating fighters that are not as good as we thought they were, and she's kind of losing to upper division, right? The better fighters in the division, the top 15, you could say. When you look at Brazil, she's a sound striker. She normally fights from range. She utilizes her reach and is pretty much low volume, likes to stick on the outside, pick and pop. She's kind of changed her style, right? She's training with the fighting nerds, right? She's kind of using that long ranging striking style, and then she does try to mix in some takedowns, but she's trying to just be kind of like that long rangey point fighter. She's going up against Souza, who incorporates Muay Thai and boxing. She has power behind her hands. She doesn't necessarily have the speed. She does have a bit of power. She throws heavy and with volume. Rodriguez took her down 7 times out. Souza can grapple. She can grapple as well, but off her back, she tries to remain aggressive and tries to work, tries to get up. I think here, Brazil, if she fights that, distance game, Sou's going to be the aggressor, right? It's a small octagon. She's going to be able to get in the pocket, maybe land some big shots. Brazil's path to victory, her success would be to utilize the grappling, right? Do what Piera did, kind of suppress the aggression, get her down. slow her down and then drag out a victory there, get busy on the ground. But I like Souza here. I think Souza's going to be able to mix it up, get aggressive, get in the pocket, kind of frustrate Brazil, not let her have that distance, not let her point strike, and then get a victory here. So I'm going to go with Souza.
I'm gonna
She's
go
the
Souza
dog. I'll
too,
go with
right?
her.
Like I think we dub her as the oh my god, what's the girl that trains Kathleen Souza? Uh, Jessica Andrade, I think, right? If I'm not, yeah, Jessica Andrade. She's gonna kind of try to tank her. I mean, Bruno Brazil is gonna have to kind of move to the move out of her range, try to go for offensive. I don't think she strikes head to head with this girl. And she is coming off two razor split decisions. I think she won the Angela Hill fight. The Piera fight is like you said it. Piera put her in like very interesting grappling movements that kind of made the fight closer than what it seemed, right? I will say with Souza, though. I think Souza gets it done tonight.
Right on. We're both going with Souza to get it done. She is the underdog. We'll move on here to a fight that's interesting, right? Like Nikolai Vertenikov taking on Nico Price. He was originally supposed to take on, I think, what's his name? What the hell is it? He was supposed to take on Jose Enrique Souza. So Jose Enrique Souza was supposed to take on Eric Nolan. Nolan pulled out. Varentenikov jumps in for Nolan. Souza pulls out. So Nico Price is coming in on the
That's right.
on fight week, right? So this is a completely new fight. Both guys you could say are short notice, right? They're both short notice. Varentenikov, what do we know about him? He gets angry. Remember in his fight against Austin Vanderford, right? We got KO'd and Austin Vanderford's. I thought he got cut after that, right? Or maybe
No,
we
they
were
did.
talking about him getting cut, right? Because Dana White has had a no tolerance before in the past for that, right? When a fighter attacks another fighter after the fight. But anyways, he got aggressive after that fight. He bounced back. He got a win up against the tiny Francisco Prado, the small for the division Francisco Prado, which was a close fight. It was a split decision. Francisco Prado, I think, won that fight. But anyways, he lost. He got cut. And then he lost to Punahele Soriano, where he was taken down, right? Punahele kind of controlled him on the ground, got busy, hit him with some ground strikes, and kind of dragged out a decision there. What do we know about Vertenikov? He's durable. He pushes the pace. He utilizes his power well. He struggles on the ground and can be taken down. That fight against Prado, he was taken down 3 of 10 times and controlled for a total of 6 minutes. Up against Punahele, he was taken down multiple times. I don't know how much he was controlled on the ground, but it was for a while, right? So let's see.
While you're looking for that, I'll just say this basically. Nikolai is just like too big, and like against Prado, like poor Prado. Prado's like I've been saying this for a bit. Prado is a lightweight. Like Prado needs to cut down. It's too small. He's gonna be facing Nico Price, which I mean, like I think the only reason I think Nico Price is basically an older fighter now, and if you look at his record, champ, it's no bueno. So I think nobody else wanted to take on this fighter. This is like probably one of the guys that's already kind of signed with the UFC. That was like, hey, we were gonna. How long ago did he? 7 months ago? Come on, man.
And also, like Nico Price, he has jujitsu, but he's a striker first, right? Like he's a striker first who has jujitsu. His offensive grappling isn't the best. He can secure takedowns if he needs to. He has been chinned in the past, right? Like he likes to push forward. He likes to entertain. He manages the pace. He engages in scraps, but his chin has been tested. Like look at his last fight. He was submitted by Jacoby Smith, solid prospect. He was beat by Temba Garimbo via unanimous decision. He lost to Alex Morono, who we'll talk about. He lost to Alex Morono in 2024. It's crazy. He lost to Robbie Lawler via KO TKO. He lost to Phil Rowe via KO TKO. So he has been on the bad end of some exchanges, right, in the past. But I think here I'm gonna go with Varentenikov. I think he's gonna be able to get the striking going, right? He's probably gonna be able to find not worry so much about the takedown, like try to like snuff the initial attempts, right? Try not to get on his back where Price could work, but I think on the feet they're both gonna be aggressive and 36 years old they both are, man. I think I'm gonna trust the 36-year-old Vertenikov over 36-year-old Nico Price.
Yeah, the mileage on Nico Price is wild. Like Nico Price, even he beat Randy Brown in a highlight like TKO on the fence backwards. I'm just gonna go with Nikolai Verticott. I think he gets it done. Both they're both not the quickest welterweights there is, and let's see what happens. I mean, I just hope it's not a grappling exchange because we know how those end up for
Well,
Nikolai.
Punahele was able to take him down 4 times out of 11 and control him for 12 minutes out of 15 minutes.
Yeah,
So, I mean, his get up game does struggle, right? If Nico Price comes in and just like, you know what, we're going to take this guy down. We're not going to fuck around. We're going to get a unanimous decision win. He can go that route, but we'll see, man. We'll
yeah,
see.
we'll say Verticott was the pick.
Next up, we have Alex Morono, your favorite fighter, man. The guy who's known for his grappling, who's known for his jiu-jitsu, who comes out with his black belt, bro. He comes out with his black belt and he doesn't use it. What does he do? He's like, you know what? We're gonna strike. We're gonna get into a fist fight. We're not gonna. I already know I'm good at the jiu-jitsu, bro. I already know I'm good at the grappling. We're gonna strike. What are we doing? Let's entertain the folks. We got Alex Morono taking on Daniil Donchenko. Daniil Donchenko's coming off his tough enough. Not tough enough. I always think it's tough enough because there's TUF, but
Yeah,
it's the Ultimate Fighter finale up against Rodrigo. Beautiful name, by the way. Cesinando, right? He beat him via KO, TKO, ground and pound, right hook to ground and pound strikes. You know, you look at Morono, he's a durable veteran with crisp boxing, high pace, sneaky submissions. He has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he never uses it. He's not a knockout artist, but he doesn't shy away from a scrap. He'll go there, he'll throw wildly, he'll get in the pocket, he'll exchange with you. His chin has faltered as he's gotten older, right?
yeah,
And he's a bit reckless at times. Like you look at his past 3 fights for Alex Morono, he lost to Carlos Leal via KO TKO. He got beat bad. He lost to Daniel Rodriguez via split decision. I mean, Daniel Rodriguez, bro, via split decision. He went out there and duked it out with him. He lost to Nico Price via unanimous decision. He beat Court McGee, but Court McGee's like 40 years old, right?
yeah,
And he lost to Joaquin Buckley via unanimous decision. So, you know, when you look at Donchenko, if you saw the Ultimate Fighter, you saw his last fight. This guy has really good combinations, really good striking. He throws vicious elbows in the pocket. He can fight outside or inside. He incorporates a good kick game. He throws with power. His takedown defense held up against Rodrigo Cesinando, but he hasn't fought somebody at an upper level, right? Like Alex Morono's best bet here would be to test the grappling, take him down and see what he can do, right?
yeah,
That would be his best bet. But I don't know, man. He kind of just engages in these brawls and he gets put out. So I like Donchenko's flashiness. I like his combination. I like his striking. You know, I watched him in that season. So and I liked how we picked him in his Ultimate Fighter finale,
yeah.
right? Like the striking was going to be too much for Cesinando. His cardio held up well. He's pretty vicious in the pocket. He throws nice elbows, tries the combo. So I'm gonna go with Daniel, man. It's gonna be too much for Alex Morono, who's getting older, who's slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, look, the pick is Donchenko. Morono is not the favor here now at a minus 590. Uh, don't put
That's
him.
the part that gets alarming, right? Because he's kind of a untested cat, minus 590 against somebody like Morono. Morono could just come in here and be like, you know what, brother? Let's take you down and let's test the jiu-jitsu. Let's test the jiu-jitsu, brother.
Let's test the jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna go with Donchenko. I don't think Morono's cardio has not held up in years, so we're both going with Donchenko.
Yeah, man. A lot of damage too. Like you said, a lot of wear and tear. But we're both going with Donchenko to get it done here. Continue the solid performance in the promotion. Next up, we have a light heavyweight bout. We got Dustin Jacoby taking on Julius Walker. Talk about a step up in competition, man. They're like, listen, you went to a unanimous decision with Rafael Siqueira. All right, we're gonna give you Dustin Jacoby, bro. Don't worry about it. We're gonna give you a vet in Justin Jacoby, who's been around for some time. He's 37 years old. He's 11 years his elder. But when you look at Julius Walker, he made his UFC debut up against Alonzo Menefield. He lost via split decision. And then you look at him against Rafael Siqueira, he won via unanimous decision. Obvious, obviously, Julius Walker's raw, right? He's very raw in his MMA career. I mean, I think I think he's the one that had like 6 pro fights prior to fighting in the UFC, right?
Yeah,
He had 6 pro fights. He hasn't been fighting very long. I think he's been fighting for like I want to say couple years. I don't want to misquote myself here.
Yeah.
I want to say 4 or 5 years he's been fighting. You know, his bread and butter is the grappling. He looks to take fights to the ground and control his opponents. He's been fighting since 2020, so he's been fighting for 6 years. So I said 3 5 years. So 6 years he's been fighting. So not a lot of experience, right? He's still kind of green. Only has 8 pro fights. He looks for submissions on the ground or incorporate ground and pound. His striking isn't the best. He keeps his chin in the air. His takedown defense isn't the best as well, right? His striking defense isn't the best. He looked gassed against Ikea. He looked gassed against uh, Alonzo Menifield. And then one of the things that I don't like as well, sometimes, you know, as the fight progresses, his takedown entries get pretty lazy. Like he doesn't really set up his takedowns. He looks to push you up against the cage and then kind of like level change or muscle down a takedown. And I think here up against somebody like Dustin Jacoby, right, who has KO'd in his last 2 fights, Vitor Petrino, who's since moved up to heavyweight, he KO'd Bruno Lopez. He lost to Dominic Reyes via KO. He lost to Alonzo Menifield via unanimous decision. He beat Kennedy and Chickwu versus KO. So he's knocking out dudes that are far, I don't want to say far bigger, but that are far better, I would say, than than Julius Walker. You know, Jacoby was originally supposed to fight at UFC 324. He was, I'm sorry, at UFC, yeah, UFC 325, I think it was, or 24, one of those two. But he was in Australia. Like he was cornering Cody Brundage. I don't know if you saw him there. He was cornering Cody Brundage. So to fly back, you could be like, oh, well, it's jet lag. He's going to be affected. He's going to be tired. But I think he'll be all right. He was already in fight shape, right? He was supposed to fight this month. He was supposed to fight last month. So he's a technical striker. He has that kickboxing background, fights well at range, utilizes his jab and his kicks. I think he's too experienced for Walker, whereas Walker, Walker, he's bigger, he's longer, but Walker has the issue where he doesn't have the striking defense, he doesn't have the experience, he doesn't have the cardio to hold up, man. And he's not going up against, I mean, Sekeria, dude. Like Sekeria has lost 4 times in the UFC.
Yeah.
3 of those times were finished. The 4th time, like everyone was like, okay, Walker should get a finish here. This should be a performance where he puts out Sekeria, he gets a dominant victory, and went to a unanimous decision with him, man. And he looked tired against him. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with Jacoby. I think Jacoby's gonna find the chin and get him out of there. I'm
Yeah.
not too impressed for Walker. I think this is too big of a jump for him.
Jacoby, especially after what he did in his last 2 performances against
Yeah.
Bruno Lopez, and he doesn't. Yeah, this is a mismatch. I expect these odds to be higher heading into fight night, but I'm gonna go with Jacoby. Jacoby, be a finish. He's gonna tire him out. He's gonna knock him out.
Yeah, I think it's too big of a jump, like you said, right? So right on, we're both going with Dustin Jacoby. Next up, we have Gene Matsumoto, who beat Rob Font, in my opinion, taking on Fareed Basharat. Take it away, my man. I talked too much last time out.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. One of my trainers got the IC. No, I mean, Gene coming on that controversial split decision against basically Miles John, right? I mean, you had it to Miles John. I just like the activity that John Matsumoto did against Farad Basharat, the brother of Baby Basharat, or Big Brother. Sorry, Baby Brother or Big Brother? I don't know. Champ doesn't know either. But I
That's a
mean,
good question. I really don't know who's older. Aren't they
exactly.
twins?
Like
Aren't they?
they're twins, really? Oh my god, we're gonna have to find that out later. But I mean, look, you got a basically an undefeated cat against
He's younger. He's younger brother.
his younger brother, right? Again, Matsumoto, which is I think it's we're in for a great fight. I mean, for Bashford has the length, but this is a competitive fight. I'm going to these odds like minus 235 are I don't know why, but I get 2-1 favorite. I'm gonna go with Bashford. I think Bashford gets it done. What do you have?
Yeah, Basharat last time out, beat Chris Gutierrez. He's currently undefeated, right? He's undefeated at 14-0. He's going up against Gene Matsumoto, who did receive his first L to Rob Font, where you could argue that he won that fight. Gene is well-rounded, right? He has good striking technique. He has solid grappling. He can strike. He does get hit, however. He does need to work on his striking defense, right? He kind of puts himself, he's so aggressive. He pushes the pace. He likes to get in the pocket that he does take a lot in return.
Yes.
He will need to mix it up to be successful. He does a good job at utilizing his leg kicks with his combinations and find ways to secure takedowns. Like I mentioned, he needs to improve on his striking defense. I think here he'll play the hunter up against Basharat, who kind of look to point strike. Whereas Gene needs to be successful with the Muay Thai to get in the pocket. You utilize the Thai clinch, utilize the knees, utilize his kicks, because he is going to be the shorter fighter. He's going to give up some reach, 2-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach advantage. Basharat, man, he has that Taekwondo base, that kickboxing background. He's undefeated. He's a well-rounded wrestler. He's light on his feet. He utilizes his Taekwondo movements side to side, throws nice leg kicks, stays active, has really solid footwork. And I think in the small octagon, he's going to be able to just move around and then have Gene kind of chasing him, right? It's going to look like Gene's going to be the aggressor. It's going to look like Gene, like watching from home, the casual fan's gonna be like, "Oh, Gene's pushing forward, he's being aggressive," but it's gonna be just Bashra kind of moving around, like hitting him with a couple leg kicks, a couple jabs here and there, kind of point fighting, moving around and incorporating takedowns when he needs to. I think Bashra's gonna get it done here. I think his footwork is a lot better, his distance striking, like you said. I'm gonna go with Farid,
He's the pick.
and I
Basharat.
like Gene. Gene's a bad man.
Gene's your boy. I know you like Gene. Um, yeah, let's get into the next fight, which
Next up, we have a Canadian, man. What's up with these Canadians? I'm seeing a lot of red on his record, bro. What's up with the Canadians? What's going on?
Montreal, baby. It's Montreal.
Oh, that's not Canada.
It's not can well, it is, but it's not. It's not
Oh, you
Niagara.
don't claim it. That's what you're trying to say. All right, all right, all right. Listen, no need to prolong it. We have Michael Oleksiejczuk taking on Marc-Andre Barriot, the Canadian. Michael, last time out, knocked out Gerald Mearshart, GM3. He was training with the Fighting Nerds. I don't know if he's still fighting with them. Prior to that, he knocked out Cedricus Dumas. He's going up against Marc-Andre Barrios, who is on a pretty bad skid here. He did win 3. He beat a Bruno Silva who looked like he didn't want to be there. Remember prior to that fight, we're like,
Yeah.
listen, if this fight was taken 10, like 5-6 years ago, Bruno Silva would be the pick, right? But he's going up against a Bruno Silva who doesn't look like he's all there. He KO'd him. He gave him that big dent in the head. That's pretty scary. Prior to that, he lost to Shara Magomedov via unanimous decision. But Shara Magomedov is not considered a power striker, knockout artist. He's more so of like a point striker, kickboxer, right?
Yeah.
So he lost to him. He got KO'd by Dustin Stolfoods. He got KO'd by Joe Pfeiffer, and he got beat by Chris Curtis via split decision.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you want to sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say I think Barriot, he's been cracked in his chin before. He gets into these brawls, right? His takedown defense is solid, but he does absorb a lot of strikes. I think he absorbs like 5.3 strikes per minute. His grappling is can utilize it, but he's not primarily known for that, right? I think Michael, his offensive pressure is going to be too much for Barrio, right? It's going to be fast, he's going to have the pop. He's probably going to be able to find the chin that has been found before. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Barrio. I'm going to go with Michael.
Yeah, I was going to say, Barrio is a little bit, instead of chinny, like Mikel has shown a resurgence under the Fighting Nerds. He's looked very good.
I don't know if he's fighting. I don't know if he's training with them this fight, though, because they've been busy, right?
Okay. Well, even if it's the head coach, like I said, we'll figure it out. We'll do a little bit of research. But if it's going, like, regardless, I still have Mikel Oleksiejczuk versus. I just haven't liked the performances of Marc Barriot in his last couple of fights.
Really? You're not siding with the Canadian, brother? You gotta represent your people, man. What's going on?
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Like he's trying to rush. You got a date or something? What's going on?
Me?
That nervous laugh. Listen, next up we have Jalton Almeida taking on Rizvan Kuniev. Kuniev last time out lost to Curtis Blades via split decision, where Curtis Blades brought out the wrestling after so many years of not using it. He brought out the wrestling, brother. He was taken out 2 times by Curtis Blades. He did have some success on the feet. He did have Curtis Blades cut up. He did have him bleeding. He did have him tired, right? And I think Curtis Blades hurt his foot or his leg in that fight, if I'm not mistaken, right? Something happened in that fight where he injured himself. But Kuniev, he's well-rounded. He's from Dagestan. He has strong wrestling and decent striking game. He throws in vicious strikes in the clinch. He was, however, popped for steroids in the past, right? His cardio and durability remain untested against elite level competition like Jailton Almeida is going to look to take you down, blast doubles, exhaust you. It's going to be interesting to see how he does here. He's famously known for beating Renan Ferreira, right? Via unanimous decision, but then it got overturned because I think he tested positive. He's coming up against Jailton Almeida, who's ranked number 6, who just went up against the number 2 heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
Is this like them trying to promote Rizvan and get rid of Jailton, or is this them trying to get Jailton back
They're
up?
getting him back, champ. They're
Getting him back, right? Even after DC said to Tom Aspinall, he whispered to him like, "Jailton's not good, brother. You beat Gon, and it's wide open. It's
Yeah, but
easy."
he should have DC should have never done that. But
Okay. So yeah. So anyways, we got Jailton Almeida, who's a grappler. He has power behind his shots. He level changes to the ground. He level changes, and then once on the ground, he gets busy. He chases submissions. He looks for ground and pound. He puts a pace and pressure. He moves forward in search of the takedown. He lost to Volkov, where he secured 7 of 9 takedowns and controlled it for 10 minutes and 47 seconds. How do you control somebody for 2 rounds and then lose the fight, brother?
you're not active. If this
You
was
agree with
listen,
that decision? Do you? I know you picked Volkov. You bet money, but
no, the
greed
reason why
aside, put your greedy ass aside.
no. If this was back in 2010, that's how Gray Maynard secured a title shot against Frankie Yeager.
Yeah,
By
but that goes to
guys
show you
down.
that takedowns don't mean anything. You gotta do stuff with the takedowns, right?
Yeah,
He
you
wasn't
gotta
doing
be active.
takedowns, but Volkov's a big dude, and he was taking him down with ease, right? Kuniev, how tall is Kuniev? He's 6'4". Volkov is what, 6'7", 6'6"? Yeah, so closer to him in height, and he does have the longer reach. I think Almeida's gonna get it done here, man.
He's gonna get it done.
I think for him, if I'm Almeida, he's gonna have to either take him down and finish him, or have a better performance and like do something more. Because if I'm him, I'm listening to the criticism. I'm seeing what people are saying, right? Like, oh, he took him down, but he didn't do anything, right? Like, you can't just win off of control. So he needs a finish here, in my opinion, right? What do you like to say? Be undeniable. And I think he needs to come in here and be undeniable.
I think he will do it. I mean, this is a big jump. This is like 3-17 is, and dude, if this guy does win, he's catapulting to the top 5. So I really hope.
And this dude has never been submitted. He's never been KO'd. So I'm gonna look at the submission prop, look at the KO prop, do my homework a little bit, and then we might give you guys some plus money parlays. Props. I mean, we'll see. But I do like Jailton Almeida here. I do think they are gonna position him to get back in there. And man, imagine him versus, you know, it would be a crazy fight. Jailton versus Waldo. Because people are saying, well, Waldo's grappling got tested a little bit by Spivak, but man, you give him Jailton, and if he beats Jailton, what does that tell you about Waldo, man? Bad man. But anyways, we'll move on here to our next fight. I think it's is it co-main event time?
This is co.
Really, we made it this far, huh? How many fights are on this card?
A lot.
We got 13. Okay, anyways, we got our co-main event. We got Amir Albazi taking on Kyoji Horiguchi. Albazi last time out lost to Brandon Moreno via unanimous decision, where he came back from a long delay, right? I think he had surgery. He was hurt. He had heart surgery, if I'm not mistaken. Horiguchi returned to the UFC after 10 years. Last time out and beat Tagir Ulanbekov via submission, rear naked choke in his return fight after 10 years. What a fucking performance, bro. To come in and to beat Tagir Ulanbekov out of the Khabib camp right after Islam Makhachev became double champ, like the weekend after. What do you think the boys did? You think the boys changed the locks? They're like, yo, you're not coming back to the gym, brother. You embarrassed father. You embarrassed father. What are you doing?
Horiguchi's no joke, man. Horiguchi.
Yeah, Horiguchi, you know, if we kind of messed up in not picking him. I mean, if you look at his UFC record, his only loss in the UFC is to Demetrius Johnson. Like, if you really look at it, like, and that's considered the GOAT in a lot of people's eyes, right? For top 5 for sure. Horiguchi, last time out, man, he looked aggressive. He had solid takedown defense, scrambled well, was fast twitch. He was active. He's pretty well rounded. He's a good striker with power behind his shots. He can grapple as well. However, he has struggled against pressure grapplers in the past. An example, Patchy Mix, right? Like, he has struggled with him in Bellator when they fought there. Albazi, he has power behind his shots. He hits hard. He utilizes his wrestling and grappling to take his opponents down. He's a pressure grappler. But I don't know if Abad's going to be able to bring that pressure here. You think he's going to be able to bring that pressure here, or
Oh, bro.
Horiguchi is just too fast paced, too aggressive? Is just
He's
going to
too quick,
style
man.
him. Yeah,
This guy's too quick for that division. That's the issue. He's going to be too quick. Balti has been out for a while. I think Horiguchi is quicker than Moreno, and we saw what Moreno did to Albazi. So I'm going to go with Horiguchi's the pick.
yeah, I agree. I think he has the momentum. I think he has the what's the word I'm looking for? Like he has the hunger, right? Like he really wants that title shot. He really wants to get up
Yeah,
there. So I'm gonna go with Horiguchi too, man. I think he should have a good performance here. And if with the win here, the flyweight division gets very interesting, right? Because that
it
puts him
gets
into
so
top. I think that
interesting.
puts him into top five. No, I think Amir Abbas is top five.
Yeah, and then Horiguchi set up very good for a title shot. So just keep that in mind. Like Horiguchi title shot.
Exactly. Next up, we have our main event. I got a lot of crap on Instagram for this because I was talking about this fight. I remember I brought it up. We
Yeah,
have some bantamweights going at it. We have Mario Bautista, everybody's favorite fighter, the man who famously beat Jose Aldo. Remember that fight? Remember he was an underdog against Jose Aldo, and I picked him, and I made some money off that fight. And then everybody, I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to get on Twitter. I wanted to show my what's it called, my
like,
ticket. I wanted to show my bet slip. I wanted to show my bet slip, and then I go online and everyone's hating, like, oh, we need to kill Mario Bautista. We need to feed him Alex Pereira next. Like, what's going on? Why is everyone
I'm
mad?
sure.
But anyways, we got Mario Bautista taking on Vinicius Oliveira. Lock dog. What a fight, man. Bautista last time out lost via unanimous decision to Umar Nurmagomedov, where he did have his moments. He did have some decent scrambles. He was taken down, but he did look good on the ground. He did have some good scrambles. He did even drop Nurmagomedov with that knee, right? In that fight. Prior to that, he was on a win streak. He beat Patchy Mix, who came in. He was the favorite, a hyped individual coming over from Bellator, lost. He showed levels in that fight. He beat Jose Aldo via split decision. He beat Ricky Simone via unanimous decision. He beat Damon Blackshear via unanimous decision. He's going up against Vinicius Lockdog Oliveira, who is in his last five. He beat Kyler Phillips, but Kyler Phillips kind of gasses in that first. Kyler Phillips, if every fight in the UFC was one round, Kyler Phillips would be
Oh
a
yeah,
UFC champ,
be a
bro.
champ.
Kyler Phillips would be champ. But anyways, he beat Kyler Phillips. He beat Saeed Nurmagomedov. He beat Ricky Simone. He beat Bernardo Sopaj via KO. And then he beat Victor Madrigal in the Contender Series, which got him the contract, right? In 2023. You look at Bautista, he's aggressive. He moves forward. He has good pop behind his shots. He looks to finish you. He throws with intent. He gets busy on the ground with scrambles and looks to finish you with either ground and pound or chases submission, right? He has solid takedown defense. He has that kind of like that drunken style where he'll put his hands low, he'll kind of move forward, right? And kind of chase you down, stalk you down. I think we talked about it last time out against Kyler Phillips,
Yes.
but you look at Bautista. Bautista is good. He's high volume. He's technical. He pushes the pace. He gets active. He's a solid striker and grappler. He does mix in takedowns if he needs to. He's a smart fighter, man. He has decent takedown defense at 67%. I think where this fight gets interesting, and I think it's going to be a good live opportunity for you because Vinicius Oliveira is going to be dangerous those first 2 rounds, those first 3 rounds where he's coming forward, he's looking to tag Mario Bautista, right, to utilize that power to kind of fluster him. But I think Mario Bautista is just way better, like in terms of technicality, right, in terms of
Yeah.
his technical striking, his movement, his fight IQ. And Vinicius, man. I mean, Vinicius fought a Kyler Phillips who was gassed, couldn't put him away. He fought a Saeed Nurmagomedov who was gassed, he couldn't put him away, right? Ricky Simone, he beat him via unanimous decision, but I think Mario Batista should get it done here, either on the scorecards or if you want to get a little degen and you want to say Vinicius is going to get tired in that fourth round, man. If it gets there, right? If he doesn't get a finish, he's going to get tired, and Mario Batista could finish him. When he doesn't have many finishes, but
Yeah.
you
Well, he
could say
might.
that too.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm siding with Bautista with this one, champ.
yeah,
I
me
sent you
too.
my pick. I think Bautista gets it done. Bautista's gonna look to go into high volume mode, grappling. He's gonna switch it up. We're gonna find out what Vinicius is about. I I mean, Vinicius just needs to get the dog out. That's what needs to happen here.
Yeah, he needs to get the dog out. And what's interesting here is Vinicius. He only fought one time in 2025, huh?
Yep. He
Whereas
should fight with Chael Sonnen. That's what he should fight with.
he's beefing with Chael Sonnen. 30 years young, same height, same reach roughly. MMA lab prospect, Mario Bautista. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mario Bautista. I think he's just a better fighter overall, whereas Vinicius kind of has that.
Yeah.
He's that dog though, man. It's gonna be interesting to see him. If this does go the distance, I want to see how his cardio holds up because that's my biggest concern, right? How his cardio holds up. He's kind of flat-footed too, right? Like he kind of moves forward with his feet flat. Like he doesn't have the best movement. He kind of just pushes forward. So I want to see Mario Bautista attack the legs, attack that lead leg, and kind of fluster him. It's going to be really interesting to see how this fight plays out, right? But
So
both going for Mario Batista. I know you got to get out of here, man. Any parting words for the people?
No, we'll be live on X. We'll be live.
We'll be live on X. Make sure you follow. We'll be live on X for the first 9 fights, and then we'll disappear. We'll disappear for the co-main and main event. We won't talk about that. We won't talk about that.
We
Love
did
what you
though.
love. Do what you do. Follow us on X. Follow us on Threads. As always, we'll drop our bets, our picks. Much love. Peace.
Peace. That's crazy. Love you, champ.